Shortly before 4 o'clock that afternoon, young Lady Cardross's barouche was driven into Hyde Park by the Stanhope Gate. It was a very stylish vehicle, quite the latest thing in town carriages, and it had been bestowed on her ladyship, together with the pair of perfectly matched greys that drew it, by her husband upon her installation as mistress of his house in Grosvenor Square. "Slap up to the echo," was what Dysart called it. Certainly no other lady owned a more elegant turnout. To be seen in Hyde Park between the hours of 5 and 6 on any fine afternoon during the London season, driving, riding, or even walking, was de rigueur for anyone of high fashion. And before her marriage, when she had sat beside her mamma in an old-fashioned landaulette, Nell had frequently envied the possessors of more dashing equipages, and had thought how agreeable it would be to sit behind a pair of high steppers in a smart barouche with its wheels picked out in yellow. She had been delighted with the Earl's gift, exclaiming naively, "Now I shall be all the crack." "Do you wish to be?" he had asked her, amused. "Yes," she replied honestly, "and I think I ought to be, because although Miss Willoughby, our governess, you know, says that it is wrong to set one's mind on worldly things, you are all the crack, which makes it perfectly proper, I think, for me to be fashionable too." "I am persuaded," he said, his countenance admirably composed, "that Miss Willoughby must perceive it to be your duty, even." She was a little dubious about this, but happily recollecting that she was no longer answerable to her governess, she was able to put that excellent educationist out of her mind. "You know how people talk of Lord Dorset on his white horse and Mrs. Toddington with her chestnuts," she said confidentially. "Now they will talk of Lady Cardross behind her match greys. I should not be astonished if my barouche were to draw as many eyes as hers." "Nor should I," agreed his lordship, grave as a judge. "In fact, I should be much astonished if it did not." Whether it was the smart turnout which drew all eyes, or its charming occupant, Nell had soon experienced the felicity of attracting a great deal of attention when she drove in the park. She became a noted figure, and never doubted that she owed this triumph to her splendid horses, until her more knowledgeable sister-in-law remarked chattily, as she stepped into the carriage that day, "Isn't it a fortunate circumstance, Nell, that you are fair and I am dark? I don't wonder at it that everyone stares to see us. We take the shine out of all the other females. Mr. Bottisham told Hardwicke so, and Hardwicke says it is a compliment well worth having, because Mr. Bottisham is in general quite odiously censorious. I think," she added, dispassionately considering the matter, "that you are prettier than I am, but, on the other hand, I have a great deal of countenance, besides being dark, which is more in the mode, so I don't excessively mind your being beautiful." Nell could not help laughing, but, with Miss Willoughby's precepts in mind, she ventured to suggest to Letty that such candour was a trifle improper. "That is the sort of thing Aunt Chudley says," observed Letty, unabashed. "For my part, I see nothing improper in speaking the truth, and you can't deny that it is the truth." She made herself comfortable beside Nell, and unfurled a pink sunshade. "We make a perfect picture," she said complacently. "I collect Lord Hardwicke told you so." "Everyone tells me so." "Well, take care they don't next tell you that you are abominably conceited," recommended Nell. "They won't," asserted Letty, with confidence. "No one I care a fig for, at all events. I dare say Felix might, for I never knew anyone so stuffy." However, when they presently saw Mr. Heatherset strolling in the park, there was nothing to be read in that stickler's countenance but critical appreciation. Nell directed her coachman to pull up his horses, and when Mr. Heatherset came up to the carriage, leaned forward to give him her hand. "How do you do? I hoped we might see you. Do you mean to go to the Beedings masquerade next week? Cardross has been obliged to cry off. Isn't it infamous of him? Will you dine with us and give us your escort in his stead?"
To keep listening to this audiobook, I've left you a link in the description so you can do it, at no cost thanks to Audible's 30-day free trial.